Okay, and welcome back, everyone. This is the first inning, and we're live on Zoom. And you can find this radio show podcast available anywhere you're able to listen to. Just Google it, the first inning radio show, and you'll be able to listen to it on any platform you're able to listen to it on. But we're mostly on Spotify and we're on YouTube as well. And I am the BX Bomber along with Roger, the big Yankee fan. Say hello, Roger.
Hello, good evening, BX Bomber. We are recording on Sunday, May 24th, and we're still in the middle of this pandemic situation, but the death toll has gone down in New York City now. They're
Yeah.
recording about 100 deaths per day now, which is down quite a bit. I mean, it's still tragic when anyone passes away, but the death tolls are considerably down now.
Well, it's getting there. It's getting there, and little by little, hopefully, things could come back to normal. I seen an article today over Twitter saying that the NFL will proceed as if they're gonna have fans in the stadium coming to September. So,
Wow.
and that means the baseball season ends in September.
Right.
So there could be a possibility that we could get in there.
Yes, exactly. Maybe by September. And as of right now, I have an article. It's a very short little article about Governor Cuomo and what he is saying about the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. So I'll go through that very quickly. It only take about 2 minutes.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. This is from the Star Ledger. Professional sports are welcome to return to the Empire State. That's the message New York Governor Andrew Cuomo delivered on Sunday during his daily coronavirus press conference for ESPN. And he says, starting today, all New York professional sports leagues will be able to begin training camps. I believe that sports that can come back without having people in the stadium, without having people in the arena, do it, do it. Work out the economics if you can. We want you up. We want people to be able to watch sports. To the extent people are still staying home, it gives people something to do. It's a return to normalcy. So we are working and encouraging all sports teams to start their training camps as soon as possible, and we'll work with them to make sure that that can happen. So that is from Governor Cuomo.
Yeah, we need that to happen. They already lifted the ban, so you can have 10 people in a group. You know, you can have like a
Right,
party of 10 people and stuff like that. So that's a good thing, and that's a good sign. And
right.
so little by little, it looks like things are open up soon. I mean, they're opening up the beaches for Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day to everybody, and veterans
Yes.
alike, and first responders, and all the whole 9 yards. But um, some cities, New York City beaches won't be open, but state beaches will be open. So
Right.
Jones Beach will be open in Long Island, but a beach like Orchard Beach won't be open.
Or Coney Island.
Actually, on the contraire, uh, I was just informed over here that those beaches will be allowed for residents only, like
Oh,
Right Plainland Beach, Long Beach, and and maybe Jones Beach too. Yeah, maybe residents only. So
okay.
so you have to go and check before you go. Oh, and yeah, in some places you have to get a permit to go to the beach too. So
Wow.
yeah, so the ball's already rolling on those things already. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's a matter of them working out the economics now. As we said on several radio shows in the past now, the players have to be safe. They have to have the proper procedures for the crew, the personnel,
That's right.
the traveling crew, everyone involved, and the players, and testing. They have to get testing in a moral type of way. also, where they're able to have the decent amount of testing, and safety is the number one priority. And then, secondly, is they'll have to work out the financial differences. But otherwise, Governor Cuomo has said that the Yankees are welcome to play back at Yankee Stadium, beginning without fans.
Well, here's not a good sign. Um, I've been watching reports about the Premier English Soccer League, if that's right. I'm not sure, but that thing, they're back on and playing soccer, okay? And they're doing testing. 2 weeks ago, some players got tested positive, and just recently today, some players tested positive as well. So it's up to like 6 players, I think. But they haven't said staff or players have been infected. So
Oh,
that's something that's going on too. I don't know
right.
how, I don't know what their procedures are on how they're doing the games or how they're, whatever it is, but people got infected. So that's
I
something
see.
to watch for. So they may retract it a little bit because of that.
Right, right. The South Korean professional baseball uh, says that if they have a player test positive, they will suspend play for 3 weeks. But as of right now, South Korea is handling the pandemic much better than the United States. And I have also decided to use my YouTube TV VC, VCR. They have a VCR built right into the Roku on YouTube TV. So I just place the baseball games in my library, so I don't have to stay up at wild, crazy hours
Right.
to see the different games. So I'm going to see one tonight.
No, absolutely, man. You gotta find the because they play because they're played so late. You know.
Right, they're 13 hours ahead of us. So when it's very early in the morning here, it's late in the evening there, or it's early evening there. And that's how that is working out. But also, we have some disappointing news as far as Aaron Judge is concerned, and that is that he is still not taking any swings in the box. And he is status quo. He is supposed to be chomping at the bit to get back and play, and he's getting very impatient, and he wants to get back and play. But as of right now, he has still not swung, taken any swings in the batter's box yet.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Aaron Judge has bigger problems than that right now. His his Amy Fisher looking girlfriend that he has uh got busted for a DUI
Oh
a
yeah,
few
I heard
a
about
few days ago, and she's gonna tell the cops, "Oh, do you know who my boyfriend is?"
that.
Or
Wow,
was now, because you already know the Steinbrenner family gonna tell you got a debtor, right? You know they ain't
right?
together no more, or they're gonna soon be ended up because she's screwed up. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that is something there. But on the better side is James Paxton is fully ready to go after having the cyst removed from his back and having the back surgery. He is fully ready to go and will be ready to play as soon as they are able to start the season, hopefully, if and when they can start the season. So James Paxton will be fully ready to go. And unfortunately, Herman will still have to serve, those games for the suspension.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I've also heard that the Yankees are making preparations to meet up in Tampa to start spring training once this player agreement goes down during this week coming, which we'll have another show to talk about that later. But they're gonna, yeah, 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 it should be a better thing. But they may start it, man, July 4th.
That would be very nice. That would be a nice July 4th day to put on my MLB.TV and see a Yankee game. That would be fantastic to see. And then we'll see how it is in September. If I could finally get up, I have 4 games taken care of already. So we could just rearrange them for 4 games in September. And that just might have to do me, getting to 4 games in September would be very nice. and that would be a great inspiration to be able to do that after everything that's happened this year.
And I think they should be able to play with no day off, right? Can they play straight through with no day off?
They might need to have some days here and there. There are some worries that they might have injuries because of the shortened training period, but they may probably have like a day off a week or a day off every 2 weeks or something like that. Even as it is now during a full 162 game schedule, I mean, when you do it roughly, 6 months is roughly 180 days, and they play 162 games in a 180-day period.
Right.
So you could see that in half of that, they might get about eight to 10 days off.
But normally during the season, they only get like 2 days off a month, you
Right,
know?
right,
So
exactly,
they could
exactly.
probably
A
do
little
it.
bit, right, right, exactly. And there is a little bit of more interesting news. There was a bit of an article that Alex Rodriguez is swinging the bat in the cage again and is contemplating a comeback.
Yeah, right. How's he gonna come
He,
back?
that's what the article was saying. Who's going to take the chances on him? But the article said that he misses the smell of the pine tar and the swing of the bat and being with his teammates, and he's contemplating a possible comeback. And most people, the author of the article, really doesn't think it will be happening. But Alex Rodriguez is contemplating that.
Well, Alex Rodriguez, he's in the mix of buying the New York Mets right now. I don't know if
Right,
what happened to that deal or whatever, but he's trying to buy that deal.
right.
And
Then he can put himself on the Mets.
yeah, right. Basically, right. He could put himself on the Mets, you know. So let's see what
Right,
happens if he ever buys that. So let's see.
exactly, exactly. Sounds good. So, do we have any videos today?
Let me see. Let me check out ESPN. Right now, they have. Let me see. Why, why many in baseball need a reminder of their love of the game?
Oh, that sounds good.
Maybe we could check that out. Let me wait for this.
Okay,
Me wait for this commercial to end, and I'll play it.
okay, excellent. Sounds good. Sounds good. But otherwise, it's I'm keeping out the faith that we can have a little bit of baseball and maybe even get to a couple of games together in September. And so keeping the hope up, but
Yeah.
it's still very busy.
All right. Let me play this clip so you can hear it. Let me share my screen. Check this out.
Bring in our Jeff Passan now. Any sense of urgency has been completely thrown out the window when it comes to this since it was first met with the owners and the union on May the 12th. So, how can the owners and players sort of regain momentum at this point?
They need to, Nicole, because the clock is ticking right now. And I think all the parties involved understand what's at stake here. If Major League Baseball wants to come back to spring training 2.0 by the middle of June, Major League Baseball wants hot dogs and fireworks and everything on the 4th of July to include baseball, then they need to get this thing done and get an agreement in place before the end of the month. And listen, maybe it can bleed a little bit into June, the first or the second day, but they understand because of the health and safety protocol that players are going to be showing up, 72 hours early and getting tested for coronavirus, and that players need to come from the Dominican Republic and Colombia and South Korea and all around the world to get back. So there's a lot of things that need to get done in a very limited amount of time to do them.
Yeah, keep in mind, baseball wanted to restart this season, or at least start actual games July 4th. Thank you, sir.
So there you have it.
Okay, that was pretty good. Yes, there's quite a bit that is still going to have to take place, and it'll be take a Herculean effort, and they
So
have
so yeah, they trying to start that July 4th season, man. Hopefully it can happen that way.
right. That would be very good. I would really enjoy seeing something like that, and that would be fantastic. And then hopefully by September we might be able to get together. And but we always have to worry about that second wave possible that could happen by the late fall or early winter. And let's hope that that doesn't happen. But there's always a possibility of a second wave of the pandemic.
True, but right now they have vaccines for the virus. There's two countries that are actually there's one in England and somewhere else. I think Thailand is the one that has the vaccines, and they're testing it on people, which is working so far. So let's see how it affects the whole process. You know.
Yes, and there is also, also about 100,000 people. I believe there's one testing that is going on. I think a company called Moderna is doing some testing, and they have a large study group that is willing to uh, chance it. I think they just started with a small amount of people, where they had 8 people, and they developed antibodies. But I think they're working on a larger study group now, and also it would be good if they had different types of medicines to help lower the sickness of the coronavirus. Very much the way that they have for acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS.
No, yeah, it's almost just like eggs. It's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know what? And because of all that, the clock is ticking on the 2020 MLB season talks. So I have a video here on what could make the deal work or fall apart. Let's say.
Uh-huh. Sounds
So
good.
so let me play that real quick. Let me share the screen, and we can see this great video on
Of urgency has been completely thrown out the window when it comes to this since it was first met with the owners and the union on May the 12th. So, how can the owners and players sort of regain momentum at this point?
They need to, Nicole, because the clock is ticking right now. And I think all the parties involved understand what's at stake here. If Major League Baseball wants to come back to spring training 2.0 by the middle of June, Major League Baseball wants hot dogs and fireworks and everything on the 4th of July to include baseball, then they need to get this thing done and get an agreement in place before the end of the month. And listen, maybe it can bleed a little bit into June, the first or the second day, but they understand because of the health and safety protocol that players are going to be showing up, 72 hours early and getting tested for coronavirus, and that players need to come from the Dominican Republic and Colombia and South Korea and all around the world
well, it's
to get
actually
back. So there's a lot of
same
things
video.
that need to get done in a very limited amount of time to do them.
Yeah, keep in mind, baseball wanted to restart this season, or at least start
It's
actual
actually
games July 4th. Thank you, sir.
it was actually an extended version of the last one we saw.
Right, right. But that is the case. Yes, Major League Baseball is so international that we have players coming from all over the world, Latin America, from Asia, and American players, and they all have to get back together. And it's going to take quite an effort to get this going.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We don't know what's gonna happen. In my opinion, all the players should have never left in the first place.
Right.
They should have kept them bunkered in at their training facilities. In my opinion,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
guess they felt it would be like they were in jail or something, or incarcerated or something like that. They want to go back and be around family members and friends and that kind of thing, and resume their lives as best as they can under the situation. But so it might have been hard, and that was the problem with them, with the
But it
Cactus League
wasn't.
and the
But hold on, it wasn't a smart move for them to leave the country though, because in those other
right,
countries they're underdeveloped, like Dominican Republic and all that. So if you get
right,
sick in that country, you could die over there. You know what I mean?
yes,
Because if you're in Tampa, they can maybe send you to New York or something and get you better treatment. But if you're in Dominican Republic, how are they gonna get you to fly over here? You know? So a lot of
exactly.
those things weren't thought out in the beginning, you know? So maybe sports complexes like the Yankees should think about building their own hotel so they can house their own players, like a building or something.
Right, right. That would be a good idea. And I broke out the Rawlings mitt again, as you can see, and
Nice.
there's the Rawlings mitt. Yeah, that would be a possibility if you could keep them in one place. But that was the thing that the players were complaining about, about the Cactus League and about the Grapefruit League, was the idea that they were going to be quarantined in hotels, and a lot of the players didn't like that idea. They wanted to be with their families, and that's why many of them favored the teams playing in their own stadiums again, and the East playing against the East and the West playing against the West, and having limited travel.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. But and what happened was when baseball canceled the season in the beginning, when they stopped baseball operations because of the American government said you have to cease all operations, right? They basically made everybody go home. You know what I'm saying? Instead
Yeah,
of keeping the players there where they are in Florida, because a lot of the players they live in Florida too. You know,
yes, a
so
lot of them do
they
the
could
places there.
they could have bunkered together. You know what I mean, and stayed together somehow. Look at Aaron Boone. I mean, after they canceled the season, let's not say cancel. After
Postponed.
they after they postponed it, he drove back to Connecticut on his own. You know what I mean? That
Right.
doesn't even make sense. You know, they all should have stayed down there. They could have been working out in the stadium because it's private. You know what I'm saying? Because you own that facility, so you can work out in your own facility. It's a private owned thing, so they can't tell you can't work out there. You know?
Oh, well, they can actually. That is one of the things happening with many businesses, privately owned businesses, such as restaurants or nail salons. If there is a quarantine or a shutdown, the businesses are ordered closed, and now they're slowly starting to open up in places. But I believe that they were told that they could not stay at the facility at that point in time when it was very bad. Private businesses were all told that they had to close, and they had to get the okay to reopen.
Yeah, yeah. But they could have housed them there instead of
Right,
letting them go. You know, because that way
right.
they could have been working out already by now. You know?
Yes, yes. Well, they're talking about them possibly working out by June 10th. And as Jeff Passan said, they have a lot that they have to do. They have to have the safety in place. They have to have the financials taken care of. It is very good news that Governor Cuomo said the Yankees could play at Yankee Stadium again, and that they can have to start without any fans, and maybe you can get some vlogs from outside of Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
and
Hopefully.
then by September, if the NFL is talking about proceeding with fans, maybe at that point the Yankees could have some too, even if it's a smaller capacity, and we might be able to get together for a few games in September.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. Let's see what happens, man, with this new proposal. Hopefully, in a week's time, we could be saying that it's actually gonna happen. You know what I
Right, the
mean?
end of this is the last week of May, really. Next Friday is the 29th.
Yeah, so
So,
they already lost 2 months of the season already. And they're
right,
gonna lose a
exactly,
third one with June because they're gonna use it as a spring training type of thing.
right,
You know,
exactly,
so
exactly.
so let's see what happens with this whole situation. But I guess that'll be the show, man, and we'll leave it there,
Okay,
and we'll figure out next week what's gonna happen, or in a few days we'll come back and have another one.
right on Wednesday.
You know what I mean? So I want to thank everybody for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter as BXBomber2011, and also follow Roger too on Instagram and Facebook. And we'll see you folks on the next one. So long, everybody, and see ya.
Take care.